Hi, everybody. Welcome to Transgurus. It's nice to see you again. I hope that we can do something meaningful for you. We did not get many questions, but we're going to try to talk about, how's everybody doing and what's going on with everybody. So I will just, I'm going to be very nice and throw the ball to someone else.
Listen, there was a person that wrote in Efron. Anyway, we don't need to use his last name, but he calls his dead name. He refers to it as a zombie name, and zombie name since it's dead, but it keeps coming back from the grave because jerks refuse to bury it. But bottom line is, theoretically, it's kind of funny to think about zombies. Because anyway, never mind. Just thought I'd share that. That was somebody sent that in, and there was another question which I can't find. But other than that, hopefully some people will start connecting with us. And let's just take a minute. Shannon, how you been?
I see that there are people already on the line. So hi, everybody. Welcome to Transgurus. We the crazy people. Jimmy, you wanted to say something.
Okay, so I don't consider my past a dead name, because a butterfly can't be a butterfly unless it was at one time a caterpillar. So in order for a trans person to be a trans person, they had to have been someone else before. So in order to get to where we're going, that's the whole essence of being transgender. We are creating a whole nother person in our own image that resonates with who we are. So that whole evolutionary process needs to be honored and respected from beginning till eternity. And that's how I see it.
Also, we had some people write in and said they preferred your name, Shannon. I was going to copy it and send it to you, but anyway, so that was messaged. I don't know if you read them.
Well, yes, and thank you. I do go by Shannon, so thank you. Thank you.
We've been having some posts that we've put up that people have written in 200 to 300 responses within hours. It's amazing. Anyway, the only reason I even bring that up is sometimes we get outside people that don't really fit, and we block them as soon as we see them. But if you belong to Trans Gurus and you write something, then it gets shared to them or something. Anyway, I don't know, but we've had a few people that have said stuff. We try to keep up with it as much as we can. So anyway, go ahead, Ella. I was just babbling, killing time.
Okay, I want to make a comment about what Jimmy said, because I think she's absolutely correct. We cannot ever, ignore our previous existence because it was there. And it is true. The only issue with when we're talking about dead name is that, if you are in a group of people and someone calls you by your dead name, it's kind of hurting because it means that the person does not acknowledge your new identity. And that is the only reason. I'm a writer. Everybody knows that I'm a writer. My life is an open book. You can read it. So yeah, I will never deny my past. Some other thing which is very important too. I am a father. Yes, it's true. I am a father. I have 3 kids and I've got a grandkid. Now, there is one difference between being a father and the grandmother. And the reason is that when I made my kids, I was a man. So my kids call me, call me by my name as a woman, of course, they always do that, but I cannot deny that I was ever, a father. When my grandkid is a little bit different because my grandkid would always meet me as a woman. So in that case, I'm a grandmother. So it's a little bit funny, but that's the way it goes.
I
Yeah,
have a question.
yeah.
You said when you were a man, I would have perceived it as when you put the man uniform on, but you necessarily weren't a man.
You're absolutely right, but that was the role that I played during that time. And,
Well, explain that. That was the role,
yeah,
but you didn't identify as a man. You identified as the uniform that got you through life, but that wasn't necessarily.
yeah, I do agree with that. I was always, I was always a woman, but I played the role as a man for many, many reasons. One of them was what society expected from me. And that
I
was,
understand all that. I was just, when you said, when I was a man, I don't ever feel that I was a man.
Yeah.
I may have played that role and sometimes did a really good job at it.
yeah, but okay. There's one thing I cannot refuse to say, and that is that when I got my kids, or when I made my kids, I had the male part.
Well, that isn't what I was talking about.
Yeah, but I always identified as a woman. Absolutely correct. Chris Chung. Oh, so Christian.
Yes, let's hear from Christian.
You have anything to add?
Well, with my name being Chun, I was really like on the fence about making it Stun, but then Chun just came out, so I just had to put that there. But
So
back
you're Oriental now?
I could be. I used to be, confused as
Okay.
Bruce.
Okay, just checking.
I think
Yeah.
I'm going Japanese. It's just a joke, okay?
Wouldn't mind. But they have really good food. But so
Yes, they
with
do.
this topic, I totally see like both sides. I see a lot of different sides to it. Personally, I kind of, looking back, like after I've gotten so far in my transition and learn more, I kind of open my mind, expand my perception, and then things reveal themselves. And what revealed itself to me is that I was always a man trapped inside a female's body. When I was a kid, I was a boy trapped inside of a little girl's body. And maybe I wasn't necessarily trapped. A lot of people like to, use the term like trapped. I was like, against my will, but maybe it just, I was, it's like,
Part of the journey.
yeah, it's like part of the journey, it's like the timing, like you kind of have to, I was marinating for what seemed like forever inside of that body. And my, the next level just couldn't wait. It was like bursting at the seams. Like it just couldn't wait to come out. Like Christian could not wait to make an introduction to this world in a more, expressible, fearless type of way. Really being authentic and just kind of speaking out and speaking up and expressing myself in all ways I would do. But so I could see it in like the way that I acted with how when I had imaginary friends and I had like imaginary girlfriends when I was a little kid, like, I'm talking like young, like kindergarten and stuff, not like high school. But like I used to always have like girls that I would in my head like date, and then I remember I used to always like climb fences, and I would kick rocks and spit and play football with the guys. I always had like a bunch of guys I played different sports with, and had a crew of kids I used to play. We used to go around the whole town and skateboard. and terrorize like people's like really nice paved roadways so we can go skate on it, and then, you know, do a whole bunch of cool tricks. And I just remember I never felt comfortable when I was inside of sports teams that were with women. I never felt like I could be myself totally. And even when I would kind of be like in my own like silly self that I am, and I was, you know, just kind of going along with whatever, I couldn't totally express myself 100% because I wasn't comfortable in my skin. I wasn't comfortable in my dress. I wasn't comfortable in the way people identified me, in the way that people categorized me in their mind. You know, boys line up here, girls line up there, boys go to the bathroom here, girls go to the bathroom here, like the typical like standard roles, like wearing a suit to prom. Like, you know, I wanted to participate in that and on that side of the tracks. And I remember like so many times thinking to myself, like why do I wish I could do this and I don't feel comfortable like all the other girls do. And sometimes you don't have the language to express yourself, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer for people to grasp those kind of concepts that are complex. And some people aren't even good at communicating. Like, it took me a long time to just learn how to communicate, period. And then once I started to, you know, figure that out, then it, you know, things started falling into place. Pieces started coming and revealing themselves to me. But my whole life, I've identified as a man, and I didn't have the words to communicate it, if that makes sense. I always had the feeling there, but I couldn't connect the words to the feeling. So that's why I brought all that up before. And I'm sure, you know, my experience isn't the only one. Some people, they say their whole lives they didn't know until, you know, for example, I didn't know until you know, I was really trans until I saw this video of Chaz Bono. I didn't even know it was possible. I always had this concept of like, I wish I was a man. I pray to God, I wish I was a man. I wish I could do all the things that my brother did, and all guys I respected. I wish I could do what they did too. But I couldn't put a word to that. Like, what is that? You know, how do you describe that thing in one term? And then I saw transgender describing Chaz Bono on the TV one day, and I was like, holy cow, like that's it, you know. And I was like, it almost, yeah, I know y'all went through some type of moment like that too. Like, it just kind of like, it was a surreal, like, is this really happening right now? Like, is this possible? Like, I can't believe I was having this thought in my mind. Wasn't too confident about it. Like, I thought maybe there's something wrong with me. Why am I thinking like this? But then I saw somebody else doing it. And it's like how Bonnie says, like, some people at one point, you know, they thought that there was no chance of getting a 6-minute mile. But then somebody broke the record and they got a 5-minute mile. And now it's like people are getting closer and closer and closer, like making that number, you know, smaller and smaller, and their performances are getting better and better because they see other people doing it. Now they have like a model, and they can see like themselves in that model, and they have a path to follow. So yeah, that's me. And I see how some people, they say like, you got to be, you know, keeping your past alive and don't forget where you come from, and that's true too. But I feel like I don't want to put my past so much on like the wall as like a memento. Like, I don't really want to put that there so much to keep honoring it to the point where it affects my present day. I'm thankful for where I came from. I'm thankful for the shoes I worn out. I'm thankful for the journey I've traveled. But there's a new chapter to my book that I'm focusing on, and there's so many more things I'm gonna be creating a legacy with. So, you know, it's all where you want to place it, what level of honor, I guess, or attention towards your past that you want to give. You know, everybody's going to give their own, you know, especially if you're a parent and you know, you do what you got to do.
And you know, I have to tell you something, Christian. You really sounded the bell on me when you said it in the beginning. You didn't know what it was, but you knew that there was something not right. And it's the same thing with me. When I was 5, I always identified of being a girl, and I could not understand why people could not see that. And it was terrible. But, you know, in the beginning, I didn't know I was transgender. I was just, in the wrong body. And, and everybody was telling something which I didn't identify with. And it took me a very long time until I started to assume that, because, there was a lot of repression when I was young. It was the 60s. And, it was kind of, being transgender is not the right thing to do. So it was mainly when you are in a very, very Catholic country, like in Portugal. So it was very difficult for me to find my balance. I always identified as a girl, as Bonnie said. Yes, I did, except I was forced into a role. And I think that most of us, well, many of us, experienced that. So I see that I've got many people watching the show. And if you do have any questions, please go ahead and write them, and we'll answer you as good as possible. We are looking at the same time at who is, if there's any questions or anything like that. I see that there are some people from all over the world. I've got some Canadians and some other people which say hello, gurus, and it's so nice to be here. I've got Jason, which Crabtree, who said, how do you girls get your teeth to become so big?
Good food.
It's, Jason, it depends. Some people just take hormones. Some people just makes plastic surgery. It all depends.
Progesterone will grow the breasts more than anything. But anyway.
So once probably you'll have nice breasts too, like us.
Before we were talking, and this is bad for me to say this because it's inappropriate, but if you're around your friends and people are misgendering you, I just flash them my tits. And I don't mean that, but honest and truthfully, it does work.
Yes, it does work.
Gives an image.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you were with me in the restaurant when I did that one time. But I'm just saying, it never misgendered me again.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling people to ever do that. But if you're amongst friends and people and you're secure and you're not like out in public, sometimes that can be a very, very helpful tool, because when they see that in their brain, it registers not as male, but as female. Both have boobs. Anyway, it does help them to get over it quicker. But anyway, I'm not telling you.
I would like to expand on what Ella said earlier, where if I'm with folks, and a majority of the folks that I come in contact with that see that I have changed, though, one of the first questions is, what name do you go by now? And I think that's a sign of respect and a sign of acknowledgement. And I like how Ella was talking about that. And if someone continues to call me by my previous name, I'll respond, but not maybe the same way that if they would have referred to me as my chosen name. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm wearing a top right now. We're talking about boobs. This says, live your, you can see it, live your truth. So there is a trans girl by the name of Gabby Tufts. Gabby Tufts was a WWE wrestler, and now she's a full-on babe, and she has started this clothing line called Gabby, and they come with I got the white tank top that has "Live Your Truth" in pink, and they have a black top with the same lettering in white, and they fit real good. They're designed for a girl with boobs, And this is like what I wear all the time. And being visual, I think, is part of this whole trans experience. Ella.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Amanda Grace here, and she said, hello, not the question, but accomplishments. Tomorrow is my hearing day for my name change. Amanda, my congratulations to you. I think most of us have gone through that. I had my name change officially done, and then I changed all my papers, driving license, passports, inclusive birth certificates. I know it's not possible to change birth certificates everywhere, but it is really very important, mainly for me because I travel a lot. And if my traveling papers are not updated, can be an issue, mainly in some countries where, people don't accept transgender people a lot. I travel a lot, even to Latin countries where, let's put it this way, it might be a taboo to go there. And Maggie, hugs and kisses from the Philippines. I love that we are such an international show. So we've got people. I had one person from Australia that said, I'm so sorry, but I cannot be there because it's 8 o'clock in the morning in Australia and I am working. So, okay, sorry about that, but I hope that
We're going to put it on Facebook anyway, so people can see it.
Yeah, we'll put it on Facebook. It is in Facebook.
And YouTube.
You can see it, and YouTube as well. Okay. So, name change is complicated. And we are very lucky in the United States that we have name and gender change available. It is not allowed, and it is not done everywhere in the same way. Sometimes can be a very difficult thing, But congratulations, Amanda. Do you have anything to add on that, Bonnie, or Christian, or Jimmy? So
it's all part of the experience. All these little details, name change, paperwork, the whole journey, the whole opening of the flower it's if you look at it all at once, it's overwhelming, but it's step by step over time, everything will eventually fall into place.
But I do want to add to that. Your picture on your ID should match what you look like. I didn't say that you have to change your name. I said that your picture on your ID should match, because if you get pulled over, regardless of the name, if your picture does not match the picture on your ID, you may end up going to jail. And that happens a lot. And it's like, don't set yourself up for the downfall. If you look a certain way, well, then your picture should match it. That's all. And when you get your ID done and your name done, then you do it, but not to do it because, I'm going to get my name done. I'm going to get my name done. In the meantime, you get pulled over for something stupid. And then they say, this isn't you. And you have a lot of problems that were brought on.
So Amanda Grace just wrote, and she said that I can change my birth certificate in South Carolina. I'm really glad for you because it's not always the case. And that it's unfortunately it's not every single state in America has different legislation on that, so it's very complicated. And by the way, Elizabeth, hi to Chicago too. Back to Chicago. So, any other comments?
We sure are quiet tonight, Christian. Normally we can't shut you up.
Christian, are you in your car?
Yeah, I don't have anywhere right now that I can go that's quiet, but even the car is a little loud because it's raining out here.
Okay.
Amanda just answered Bonnie, and she said, I keep a letter from my doctor stating my petition for name change just in case I get pulled over. I think that is very clever, and it is a great idea because you never know what can happen. And unfortunately, some people are not so nice to us. So it's a great idea. Yep. Thanks for your comment, Amanda. Yeah, being a transgender person is a hell of a lot of work. Change name, all the changes that we do to our body. It's not something that you can just do like that. It takes a while, it takes conviction, it takes a hell of a lot of things. And it costs a lot of money too. For some things, it's not so easy. That is the way we go. But you know what? I feel so much better now. You cannot believe. And I am so
Okay,
glad.
so dude, what?
Huh?
Okay, so Ella, can we put a price tag on that? Can I put a price tag on the
Happiness?
feeling of
Authenticity.
self-actualization? What price tag do I put on that? What limit do I put on that? Well, I'm willing to do, I can only go, so far, and then it's just too much paperwork or too much this or too much of that. What I will go to any means, and I have, to experience self-actualization. And the feeling of achieving self-actualization is priceless. It's priceless. There's no price, there's no monetary value that I can put on the feeling that I experience living my life right now. So therefore, no cost is too high. No task is too much. And that's how I look at it. Yeah, it's a tremendous effort.
I agree
Tremendous.
with you.
Yeah, but
And
something isn't
Amanda
effort.
Grace, and Amanda Grace just wrote, it's priceless. She answered you too. Priceless.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bernie.
But there's a difference between, okay, I have to go outside and wash my truck, but I don't want to wash the damn thing. So I got to go out there and get all sweaty, and I got to do all this stuff. But I want to make my truck look really, really nice. And I want to go out there and clean it and do all this stuff. Which way am I going to get a better job? The one because I want to do it, or the one I'm doing something I don't want to do? But bottom line is, when you transition, and you transition because you wanna, and what you see in the mirror gives that reward back, that you see your authentic self. How do you put a price on that, let alone put in a category of having to work towards it? If you do what you love and you love what you do, it's never work.
I agree.
That's
Well said, girl.
That's so true. And see the motivation, the I don't want to say the word, the sense of urgency, but the desire. The desire comes from deep within. And then that provides the motivation and horsepower and the drive to pursue self-actualization. And that's an almost unlimited amount of horsepower that we all have inside of us to follow our moral compass to the promised land.
And is there anything better in this world that you could do than self-improvement? I mean, it just seems to me that it's like, we can do everything we want in life, but if you're taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself, you gotta remember, what is it? Our body is the temple of our soul. So the better we take care of our temple, the longer or more our soul is allowed to. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is, I hear so many people that put so much time and effort into all these other things that are obstacles that keep them from accomplishing what they want. But if they just figured out what they wanted and a way to get it, and they just went out there and did it because they're having a good time, like, yeah, we're going to go to the bars and have some fun and meet people. And yeah, what I'm saying, it's the same thing. If you got that same enthusiasm, it's all about perspective. How do you look at it? The perspective, if you look at it, to be able to be your authentic self. I mean, listen, we all have our issues. I mean, and to say that there isn't issues, you know, it's all part of the journey. Next chapter. And when you just got your name, next chapter. I mean, and you just, your life is about writing your own story. Don't ever turn your keys over to somebody else and let them navigate where you're going. You should keep hold of your own keys and be the driver, the helm of your boat, and go where you choose to go, and not let society and all the noise and all the things out there control what things are. Because listen, you can be too tall, too small, too big, too fat, too smart, too stupid, too blonde, too redhead, whatever, it doesn't matter. My point is, the world is not made up of perfection, so don't worry about perfection. Just worry about your own little notch.
I have here some comments. Charlotte Agar said, well said, Bonnie. And she said as well, you look great. You all look great. Thank you very much, Charlotte. We try to do what we think is right for us. Okay, and I've got here, Amanda Grace says, I found out it was me keeping me from being me, but now it has been the best 3 years of my life. I came out 3 years ago, and now I am an unstoppable force. Oh, this is so nice to hear, because we feel the same thing. It is just a common feeling for transgender people which accomplished their goal. It is absolutely great. We love you.
Going back to what I was saying on some of the posts and people, the things they write in, and I'm not trying to, sometimes I'll spend an hour or two, I've spent 3 before, and just hear how many people, I see transitions. Sometimes people say it's life. When you hear people that have transitioned and they're their authentic self, they're living their true selves, light, they're living. But a lot of times people that are not living their true self, they're not living, they're existing. They're putting in time, but they're not living.
You know, Bonnie, I think that connects really well. Like how you said, they're existing, they're not living.
Absolutely.
Even when like it applies, even when you're going through something in your life, or you're having to work a job that you're not so thrilled with, or dealing with a particular sector of people that maybe is negative, or they're bringing you down more than they're bringing you up. Like there's so many different factors in life that we deal with. But even when we're dealing with the negative ones, don't give up living your authentic self to just exist amongst that. And it's like when I used to work at this warehouse, I worked at a job. It was a night shift. I had to get up. I had to drink a shit ton of coffee just to get there. I was getting Charlie horses in my legs from being dehydrated all the time. And I used to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, I had to like rub them out. It was a tough schedule. I didn't have a life. I had to, just, suck it up and just work because I needed money at the time. And my supervisors, that I worked for, a lot of Oscar the Grinches I dealt with, and or Oscar the whatever the Muppet is called, but or the Grouch. I had to deal with a lot of grouchy people, and my job wasn't prestigious. It wasn't whatever, but it was a job. Despite me being there, my mindset, despite it being an environment that wasn't the most ideal, Like who the hell's gonna choose that willy-nilly? But life has a funny way of giving you what you need, and then it prepares you for the next level. So I was in a situation where I needed to be in so I can make money and do whatever I need to do to live for that chapter of my life. It was sustaining me during that time of my life, that cycle. And I chose every day to go in there to, pretend in my mind I was a supervisor. And even though I wasn't, I was like a regular store associate. I would go in there and I did the very best job I could. I went in there and I treated people with kindness and understanding. And when I was asked to go above and beyond the call of my job, I did it with a smile on my face. And I did a better performance and I had a higher quality service than 90% of the people there. Not comparing and contrasting and saying I'm better, but because of my attitude, I was able to propel my actions to be at a higher tier. So with that being said, that's also applicable to being authentic. When I'm going through a situation where I'm not comfortable or I have to, go outside of my comfort zone and I have to, maybe put that role on, put those shoes on I don't like, or put that suit on I don't like, or that dress, or whatever is going on, whatever situation I'm dealing with. Even when I was transitioning, I tried my very best to play a game in my mind of, how can I, get the best out of this moment so that I can have a good day and I can finish this day feeling good about myself instead of feeling down and giving myself more reasons as to why life sucks, giving myself more reasons as to, adding to the negative list. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do the thing that was more challenging, but more rewarding in the end. And that was trying to find the positive in it. And then I kind of tricked my brain, and then I was like able to more easily enjoy myself and get lost in my work and get lost in the moment, and then learn so many things because of it, because of yielding to the chaos and the discomfort and the challenge all involved. So
We've got here
Great.
some very interesting comments.
Christian.
Ellie Long just said, life is too short to pretend to be someone you're not. The sooner we are happy with ourselves, the sooner we can help to promote the same in others. And believe me, Ellie, that's what we're trying to do. And we love you for writing that. And Emily wrote, no one should work overnight or swing shifts. It's against bodily nature too. Okay, that is one way of looking at it. Ellie Long wrote again, I've always preferred night shift. Some people are creators of the night, so creatures of the night. Yeah, okay. It's as I tell, it's everybody has got the right to do what they want.
Go ahead,
Let
Shannon.
me just mention what Christian, what you just explained in your own way is how humans we are able to rewire our brain. We are able to rewire our brain to any level of accomplishment that we so choose. And we can rewire our brain to perform at a state of excellence or elite all the time. And whether we're stacking boxes or mopping the floor or managing a team of folks, that level of excellence is how it's universal. It just doesn't apply to one thing. And so also to have the maturity to understand that this is just a phase in your life, that's impressive. And as an arborist, you were talking about being average, or and when I work with trees, I'll tell people, look, your tree is surviving. It's not thriving. There's a difference. Don't just survive in this world. You only got one shot at this. The idea is to thrive. And that one person who commented earlier, Ella, where I think she's 3 years and going strong,
Mhm.
That's the mind, body, and spirit are all the horses are running in that same direction, and there's a sense of congruence, and that provides a tremendous amount of available horsepower, and it's through that congruence and that blending of the mind, body, and spirit that allow for a human to move forward in life almost with ease.
So, Charlotte Agar is in the UK, and it is now 23, it's 11, it's almost midnight, and she's looking and said, I'm a night owl. Thank you for looking, Charlotte. I hope you have a wonderful time and enjoy the night. And I've got Amanda Grace that commented just now, the more confident you are, the less people bother you. In college, my class is 15 people. I'm the only female. No one has said a thing to me. I keep my head up high and shoulders back. I own myself. Only I will choose my destiny. Amanda, we love you. You are absolutely right on the spot. It's so beautiful to hear something like that. Really, seriously.
And
Thank
then,
you.
so if Amanda can do it,
Everybody
we all can do it.
We all can do it. And
That's
congratulations.
not taken from Amanda. That's just saying that, like, there's something wrong with Amanda, that she can do it, we can do it. No, it's just, never mind.
But I'm sure
One
that
person
Amanda
can
had
do
a
it.
journey. And you know that all journeys, you know, it starts with a vision. It starts with, you know, something that's farther out in the future. It starts with all these different dreams that are going to carry you through as checkpoints along the way. And it also has habits that anchor you down and are constantly guiding you, like, you know, little breadcrumbs along, you know, before you get to that house of candy with the witch in it or whatever, you know, whatever you want to consider it. There's, you know, a lot of different habits that we have to introduce, and they just so happen to be, because we're trans, the habits just so happen to be aligned with being outside our comfort zone. So as we continuously prod and knock away at our craft, almost, it's almost like an art form. You know, you can constantly be, you know, being trans is not just like you know, this one black and white thing. There's so many different things to it. It's so fluid. As we continuously work on our craft of who we are and getting authentic and developing the skill set to you know, make that the best it can be, we're developing and creating and maintaining habits and acquiring new things to wrap our minds around, to work on as skills as well. And it's an everyday thing. It's not a overnight 1, 2 and done. It's a commitment for a lifetime. And because of you doing and putting in the work and going through the emotional turmoil that is inevitably there, you're building yourself up into an entity that is able to take that confidence, because you built the foundation. You can rely on that, because you know you can always resort to that foundation if you're ever in another situation later on. After you built that foundation with this situation over here, later on there's another situation, and you can rely on that, relax into that foundation that you built over here in the past, and you can use the same steps that you had, the same habits, the same work ethic, the same drive, and incorporate it into your other feats and purposes that you have in your life, and not have to recreate the wheel. Now you have your whole strategy and system formatted for success in every single avenue you pursue, because you took the time and got all the intricate details figured out for that foundation, for something that was encompassing who you are as a whole. It's like one of the most important things that you will ever accomplish in life, and especially for me, being who I am is one of the most important things that I've ever undertaken.
So I've got Gwendoline, which says, we all can be the person we see ourselves as. Absolutely correct. And Amanda has got another comment. I took nothing from your comment about if Amanda can do it We all can do it. That is true. I never thought I'll be where I am today, but I never ever gave up. And that is, congratulations, Amanda. You are a fighter, you are great, and we love you. Okay.
With that said, y'all, I gotta get going. I got some homework.
Leo, we have to all to get going. I think our time is come to an end. And have a great evening. Do you guys have got a final word to tell?
Never give up. It should be the story of everyone's life.
Absolutely.
Perseverance.
And fight.
Perseverance is the road to the promised land.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree with Bonnie. You want to say something?
I'm actually pretty good. And what I'm just trying to say is I enjoy the positive things people say, the responding. I love the live shows because you never know what's going to happen. But anyway, with all that being said, yes, I'm good. And there is truth. If you can see it, you can achieve it. But if you can't see it, and as all as you can do is put up obstacles in front of you, you will never achieve it. But if you get clarity of mind, write it down, figure out what you want, read it every day, and keep working towards it. You know, it's like that. We put up a post recently of a turtle, how slow a turtle moved, but then it showed like the turtle at the end of the day, how far it had actually gone. And in life, if we just move a little bit every day, at the end of the year, we've made a big move. So stay focused, stay positive. And the old saying, I'm okay, you're okay. You got to feel good about yourself. And if you feel good about yourself, other people will feel good about you. So, and if they don't feel good about you, that's their problem.
Okay, Christian, you have something else to say?
Yeah, I you know, as you go through it, whatever part of life, whether you're trans or not, or non-binary, it doesn't matter. There's going to be moments where things are, you know, they're really high, and there's going to be some moments where they're lows, and some things are going to feel like life is just falling apart, and you're not going to be able to see an immediate fix to the solution or a fix to the problem, you know, and it might feel overwhelming. But just like how Shannon said, perseverance will get you through anything. And that is the word that was in my mind when I was going through those times. That always was a word that came up in my head. I guess the universe and God always just would kind of insert that as like a little reminder, like, hey, like I know you're going through something right now, but it's temporary. Hey, I know that you're feeling bad right now, but don't worry, you know, there's people that are coming, I'm sending your way that are going to help you through it. And then you find a support group, or then you find an article that kind of like, you know, calms you down, alleviates your fears. There's so many different things that we can do to help ourselves out when we're going through those moments. Just never give up. Don't
Absolutely.
ever give up. It gets better. Sometimes there's lessons to be learned in those hard moments. So try to buckle up and maybe let your hair down a little bit and try to enjoy it.
There's no such thing as failure. There's just learning from experiences.
Absolutely. Okay, with those words, I think we're going to finish the show, this live show. So we expect to make a next live show same time next week. So on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern time, USA. So wherever you are in the world, please try to connect to that. I know it's very complicated, but I would love to see you guys.
And you can send us a message if you have something you want us to talk about. And let's say you can't make the live show, we'll talk about it and you can watch the live show afterwards, and we'll try to answer to the best of our ability.
Absolutely. Have a nice evening. Have a nice morning. Have a nice wherever you are. Have a great day. Bye. Bye. Okay, we've stopped it. How's everybody doing?
Love you all. I got to go do homework and I got to study for this test tomorrow.
And I've got to sign my lease now. And I just received, while we were doing on Trans Gurus, I just received a message from